Welcome to it. Alright, this is the old. This is also the old that we're going to make new. Let's tear it down. I didn't even actually check what size gauge this cable is, so fall back. Yeah, no, we're going to see what this is right now. I mean, it's probably, so that says 18 right there, so let's just see if it's going to come off gently with 18. Yeah, that looks like a pretty clean cut for 18 there. Let's do that again with, that says 16, that says 18. These are old strippers, so I'm going around a couple times. Oh, looks like I took out a strand. So, yeah, 18. That's what I'm going to say. Definitely not 16. But, I mean, could be. I mean, I don't think so. Let's double check one more time. This isn't, I don't think, the correct way to check gauge, but so that's the 18 hole. Yeah, let's check the lot of play there in the 16 hole, so definitely not. Is it possibly? No, we're gonna clamp down for the lesser gauge 20. So I would say that was definitely 18. I just might have took out a strand or two, and that I'm not impressed about. But anyway, so 18 gauge, like I thought. Same, I guess there's a little less conductivity in that end of it. Let's close these up. Don't need those. Garbage. So yeah, like I thought, 18 gauge. That is the same as what these came with. I've actually already opened up a couple of these. I bought a handful of them once upon a time. When I say opened it up, and removed the wire because it's 18 gauge as well, and soldered in some heavier 14 gauge because I made a cable from this straight to XT60 so that I could charge my Blue Eddy power solar generator a little more efficiently. And just this was getting warm, and then the other part of it, like, I went through a whole series of exploration on how to make it as efficient as possible and no voltage drop so that my max 8 amps would get me as much power as possible. Once I achieved that goal, it was okay, these sockets are getting hot, how do I get better results? And what it comes down to is the spring here, don't want it to be too much that it pushes the unit away. You want it to push down and stay seated, enough resistance there that it's actually good and forceful, and you want a nice solid clamp on the sides. This unit does all of that. So I thought about going in soldering it direct, but I mean 18 to 18, that's I think what I originally planned to do, but that's not what I'm going to do right away. Let's get everything out of the way that I don't want. Once I peeled this off of the top of my solar generator, that's where I had it permanently affixed, I saw it's just that easy to get in there, and I was already thinking about, let's go in, see what this wire's soldered to, and see if we can't maybe run something a little better in there so that I know I got, I mean, I'm not really going to be exceeding 10 amps, and this is rated for it, but if I'm getting close to that peak, and if the system's above 12 volts, which it so often is, it's going to get real warm, and I'm going to be really approaching the limits of the threshold, especially if I plug anything more than my one cooler into this. And one cooler uses pretty much half of my amperage rating on the unit, and what the auxiliary plugs I think always say, which is like the max is 10 amps. A lot of them have just 8 amp fuses in them, but like I'm going to be, I want to max it out. I want to utilize its full value. So bear with me a second. We're going to pop this guy open. Okay. Yeah, this screwdriver should do the trick for me. I've actually never had this open before, and this is a nice little unit. I actually wish I had more than one. I don't remember. I probably got it from Canadian Tire. Shout out. God, they bought out Hudson Bay, or bought the Hudson Bay IP. Isn't that wild? 2 Canadian companies. I think Canadian Tire is still a Canadian company, but yeah, that's pretty wild to me. It's good news, you know. At least it's not gonna disappear. It means Canadian Tire's still expecting to stick around for a long time in Hudson Bay. I mean, I think they gave up their game a long time ago, and we're just kind of seeing what they could do with what they had left. Oh. Okay. So that's really not what I expected to see. So this has for the ground, or for the negative, it just has like a bus bar connecting all of these guys, and in the middle, just right in the middle, that guy soldered there. All right, that's wow. I expected a connection for each, to be honest, but obviously I was wrong. So here's our switches. You can see the wire going to, right, that's our pot. I like the size of the plate for these. A lot of times you get just this itty bitty. Oh, here's a great example of a terrible one. Look at that. It's just a metal tab. It's on an angle, and it's you know, a lot of the time it's just it's a circle, a dot, flat, and you know, that's not bad either. But like, not a lot of contact area, especially for how screwy some of those things go in. So is this worth beefing up? Let's get this out of here gently. Get everything out gently so it can all go back in if I so choose it. Okay, so just get the board out of the little grooves, and then be easier if my switches are... Actually, let's be honest, the switch position isn't going to matter at all. Okay, so a little LED for each. God, I really don't want to ruin this. I love this thing. Okay, so that wire is just for the LED, so the switch itself... 6 amps, 125 volts, AC. That's what the switch is rated for. So what's that mean for 12 volts DC? Anybody know? Is there an actual math to just know that properly? Actually, really surprised that it's just one solid ground for all of that. I mean, I'm sure that's a fantastic way of doing things. See a little resistor on each. I wonder if that's some kind of thermal cut. No, I'm sure it's not. Okay, so the connection for the positive, I think it's actually going through the PCB, and it's pretty solid. This thing's been well built. I will say I approve of this construction. The only thing is, if that slipped out a little easier, I would definitely be interested in perhaps putting in a beefier cable. I'm impressed. You can see this side. Yeah, look at that side. Definitely a lot of heat stress here. So this is, let's see, how does the unit sit? That's how she sits. So this side's with all the heat stress. I can't remember which one I've used more than the others, but I'm gonna guess it's over here. Actually, I'm certain you can see how much it's worn down. I thought it was the other side, but I'm wrong. You know, when you're in a vehicle, it's different. Okay, sorry guys, you're with me on the decision process. Do I take that out and put heavier wire in? I mean, it's still going to be limited by this unless I solder in a new one to each. But I mean, that's like tack. Yeah, that's tack welded on. That's what they've done. You can see a bit of the inside. You can actually see a little bit of the heat kind of going through it. But yeah, that's each one of those two that just tack welded all the way across. I mean, that's a fine way of doing it. I don't see anything wrong with that. The only thing I do wonder about is, I mean, it doesn't look like anything else is melted there. It's just maybe the PCB. Yeah, PCB's been warped and hot, and that's why. That right there, folks, is why we're also changing out this end too. I already alluded to that. It's melted and bad, and that was probably the one that caused most of the heat damage there. Or the other one that I already once replaced a long time ago, different cooler, but now now that cooler has been rotated out because I found this perfect little 6-can cooler that yeah, I really like how it's designed, and they all have the same kind of ability, but the way the one I use now is designed doesn't have a fan on the inside to move cold air around. It just has the interior, I guess, let's say 75% or 76, maybe 60% of the surface area is the cold sink. So just that's in contact with the cans, and that's since it's so small, it's just very efficient. All right, anyways, that's the end of the teardown. You don't want to hear me ramble for 10 minutes. Maybe just watch the first 3. Yeah, maybe I'll put that at the beginning as a disclaimer. Yeah, you know, one more time. I gotta see. Come on, let's not ruin anything here. So, okay, so those wires are for the LED is tucked in there gently. It's probably all press fit. I don't see glue, so that itself is gonna be. Oh, okay. So there's my movement. Yeah. See, I gotta pop all those lights out first, and then come down and out this way to get it out because of the switches here. You know what? I don't think I'm upgrading the interiors of it. I'm gonna stick with the original plan, which was I was gonna put this and swap it out for this guy, so I got no LED, no USB, and a much better connection, so hopefully there's no voltage drop, because there's some yeah, I imagine some pretty serious voltage loss with a weak connection. That's it. Thank you for now.